Yo.
Are you going to do an inspired intro? Like
Nah.
Louie Swain.
No.
Presenter.
What do you think it needs to start off with? So we put this up. Oh yeah, we've made a podcast of.
Yeah,
Our
I mean, you
recent
should probably get
adventures.
something with all of us. Like all of us doing the ha.
Nah, I
That's
kind
a
of
good way
want
to
to.
start.
I kind of because I'm doing all of it. I kind of want a sense of that it's just me doing it.
Nah, also it's a good, like, more personal thing. Okay, so you want to, you want to start with an intro then.
You do want to start with an intro?
No, you do. You're making it, dude.
I mean, I just kind of want to put it up. Just like here's our podcast of what we've just been up to.
No, I think you should like have an intro. You should have an intro letting people know that it's just Louie, like one member of Parcels, documenting our lives, kind of from the inside.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be the intro.
Yeah, but like. Okay, I'm just gonna lay down like as much audio as I can of us chatting.
Okay, just
and then
drinking.
hopefully edit it into something that's interesting.
I like your style. Whatever works.
Yeah.
First time.
Yeah, I don't know, because I was thinking you could, like a lot of podcasts I listen to are just literally people chatting to each other, like just one session they hit record, just a bunch of interesting people catching up, and then other ones are like real tight edited, like this is the Parcels road trip.
Which
like,
way are you going to go, man?
I don't know. I reckon
It's
I'm
like-
just going to record heaps and then experiment.
Vibe it out.
Yeah.
I would love for it to be super edited. Just like, and you're like putting in weird sounds and like,
Well, I thought if we were
making it
shit
hyped.
thought if we were shit at chatting and we were real boring, I'd put like jazz under it, just like a.
Like turn it into a full classy vibe. Just
Yeah.
like we're sitting in a
So
jazz
it
bar
doesn't
right
even-
now,
doesn't even
sipping
matter.
martinis.
Doesn't even matter what we're saying. We're
Yeah,
just like,
in reality, we're in our kitchen drinking Budweisers.
yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, we be chilling.
Check. We be here. We be chilling. Yeah. Boy.
Who we here with, man? Who we here with?
Yeah, yo, here with Master MC Anton Surret.
It's famous drummer Toto Anton.
We chilling here at Avocado. Yeah, boy. Let me get the coffees. And I'll come back and talk to y'all, boy.
It's good.
Can't fake the feeling without feeling.
I think what the podcast needs right now is at least a slight introduction or context of what we are. If you just turn this podcast on, and I hate to do this to you, but I'd like you to describe our situation in a way that you haven't 100 times already.
Huge. Okay. Can I make shit up or what? It has to be truthful.
I mean, just whatever.
No, we're 5 Mexican. No. Basically, we're Parcels. 5 guys, Australians. Is this what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 guys, Australians. We've been in Berlin for 2 years now, or coming on 2 years. We'll have to celebrate when we hit the 2-year mark. Yeah, basically, we've started this musical project, one of many that we've had over the years, but this one kind of had something special to it, and took it to Berlin to see what would happen, I guess, in a European setting, and it's been, fairly...
It's been pretty good.
It's been pretty good. It's been more successful than anything else we've ever done with our lives.
Yeah, far more.
Far more successful. I mean, not that we're blowing our own horn. It just feels like that. It's not like, look what we've done.
Yeah, no, of course.
I think it's important for us. I'm motherfucking Starboy. Yeah, no, it feels like a lifetime ago.
The moment where you realise you're sitting in a quiet kitchen holding a microphone talking about yourself. So we need content. I guess we should talk about our recent adventures.
Mm-hmm.
A month in Australia and then 3 nights in Japan.
That's it.
I wanted to hear about your first time in Asia.
Yeah, first time in Asia. It was. I keep just thinking about it, and all I can come up with is one word. It was cool.
Yeah.
Because it was just so like in its place. Everything was so in its place, but at the same time not in its place. Where everything felt like so rigid, but everything was weird and wacky, and there was so much stuff happening in your face, so much light, so many like weird things. And for me, first time in Asia, there was like a huge contrast from the Berlin places that we've been and the European places and then the home places. But yeah, anyway, the last month has been amazing. It's been like we all got really caught up, I think, in our own little like Berlin bubble world and the music that we're making and all the stuff that we were doing.
Before coming to Australia.
Before going to Australia. And then after that, it kind of feels like everything's a little bit more open or something.
Yeah, that's cool. We needed the month of sun refreshment.
Yeah, or just a month of like not being so introverted in our music and the culture that we're in here.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it does feel refreshing being back.
Refreshing. It's the same in many ways, but different mindset, I think.
Yeah. Elvis is still swing. I don't know. It's like the first.
Yeah,
instance
you're
I
looking
heard
for.
of it,
Okay, you took it as straight groove.
well, just the groove, like the
Yeah,
groove
but
that we're
swing has a groove.
Yeah,
man,
no, the groove that we're inspired by, though,
Yeah.
like that we're going for.
which is a straight 4/4.
It's just like the funk.
Yeah, you put it on the one and then
Yeah, yeah,
fill in
yeah.
the space and
The wise words of Bootsy.
God bless Bootsy, rest in peace. He's dead, right?
I don't know. I don't think so.
They played at Blues
Parliament
Fest.
still plays.
Yeah, fully.
Bootsy will have to be alive.
Did you see him?
No, we weren't there that year. I think.
Yeah. God bless.
God bless. All right. So the podcast is actually meant to be about a tour diary, sort of.
All right, we're not on tour.
Yeah, I know. So Berger told me to make this
Our
in
manager-
Australia about Australia and Japan.
Yeah, Jesus.
But have you got any tour stories or anything you want to say about the last 2 months?
Oh, it's been a whirlwind, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you got the whole story down. We went to Australia for a month,
Yeah.
reconnected with our roots. We got some sun. I don't know, I found it weird to be in Australia
Yeah, I could
for the most part. Like, just moving back and staying with my mum again and, like, having to ask for lifts to go anywhere and
You were stuck in
being
Sunrise.
back. I felt like I was 15 again,
It really did feel like that.
which is weird for me. I loved the sun and the beach, but yeah.
We had some pretty gorgeous swims.
Yeah. And then Japan was just an absolute explosion. I love Tokyo. Oh.
What were your did you have any revelations about Japan or the Japanese people?
Yeah, I mean, Tokyo as a city was exactly what I expected. Absolute chaos, neon dreams. Although it had more of a quiet side to it. I didn't expect. Like,
Yeah.
You could walk like 2 blocks from this intense classic
From like
Tokyo
Shibuya Square.
scene, and then you'd be in like a tiny little street with a couple of old Japanese men sweeping, and
Yeah.
nice little tempura houses.
Go back to the start.
Have we got any stories from Japan we could tell?
Oh, you have a few. Yeah, you were that night in Tokyo.
Me and Toto had a night.
One night in Tokyo, as the story goes.
Are you gonna try roll a cigarette with the mic on?
Yeah,
Cool.
if that's okay for the listeners.
That night was sick. We found we've been recommended this little bar where the owner has a massive vinyl collection and just plays funk records while he pours whiskeys.
Man, that was one of the coolest places I've ever been.
Like, we heard about it described like that, and we walked in off Shibuya Square, which was just like so crowded and crazy, and then into this like 5th floor tiny little room, and the guy was in there by himself, bald little head with the funk playing, polishing a glass. And I was like, wow, it actually exists.
There was
so
like
cool.
every person that walked in there was just so unique. Like the door would open, and in would walk this person, and it was always someone strange and cool.
Yeah.
This guy walks in this black guy, kind of big guy, full suit, top hat. It was like a purple suit with a pipe.
Yeah, yeah.
Just by himself. And he walks in and just looks around, and there was like this, everyone would say, "Hey, welcome," when like a new person would walk in. It was like a super like community vibe in this bar.
It really felt like we became part of this club, and all the regulars
Yeah.
were like, "Hey, who are you guys?"
Yeah, like I haven't seen you around before. Like
Because
I'm
it takes
here
a
every
certain
weekend.
type of person to really get into that type of bar.
Yeah, and we do what was it called? JBS.
Yeah, jazz, blues, soul.
Yeah, really. And the guy behind the bar was just just a character. You could just he wouldn't say anything, but you could just tell that like the life that he had was so like inspired. Like to get himself in this position where he just had this records all over the wall. People would come in, and to create the vibe at this bar, he obviously had a cool life. And all the drinks were the same price.
Yeah, he just made it up
Yeah,
as
yeah,
he
like
gave
gin
it
and
to you.
tonic. Yeah, 500.
500.
Yeah, 500 yen. Like, yeah, 500 yen.
Yeah.
It was a great vibe. That was, for me, one of the coolest.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And he didn't say anything to us, but you could tell he was quietly really happy that everyone
Yeah.
was hanging out in his lounge room and listening to his
Exactly.
music.
It felt like a lounge room, but yeah, he was totally just going like, just content with everything that was happening.
Yeah.
But you could talk about the bloody night that you had after that.
Oh,
Strip clubs, karaoke.
yeah. Well, we went to a few bars, met some randoms. We met a guy from Brisbane who makes hats for a living.
Was that the guy?
Yeah.
The guy who had that hat on?
Yeah.
He made hats for a living.
That's like his business or whatever. He makes those hats.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
That's a great hat.
But he took me and Toto to another cool bar and then like a wild karaoke bar where there was a wardrobe in the lobby where you picked your outfit for the night, and then you got led up to like a little apartment overlooking the city and then blasted with...
Yeah, watching the videos of that in the
Yeah,
morning
we got
was
these videos the next day.
and there's like weird effects on the mics and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I got from that video. Just like this weird reverb and this delay and
What I
everything
was-
just sounds creepy.
I was really appreciating like when you talked into the mic, it was super loud in the room and it sounded like real fucked and weird, but there was no feedback. You couldn't feedback the mics.
Engineering.
Yeah, they've sat there and ruthlessly tuned
Yeah.
those speakers to those mics.
You know what to do. I won't take you out for a
That was one thing about Japan.
Yeah.
We
Talk
get to this show. It's our first Japanese show, our first Asian show, and we heard rumors of how like efficient the Japanese people were, and the sound crew, and how very onto it they were. And we get there, and everything's set up. The piano stands are set up. The banners up. All we have to really do is just like plug in, and they did it all for us, and it was amazing. There was like 10 of them there, all watching us sound check, making sure there was no issue, and they were just so onto it.
It was like
crazy.
such a contrast to any other team.
Contrast from Australia, where we had some
from just being in Australia.
yeah, some sound guys in Australia, we'd be like, "Oh, cool, how are you? You're doing the sound tonight," and they would go, "Oh, yeah, apparently. Like, I don't really want to be here. I prefer to be sinking beers with my mates."
Yeah,
Like,
it's your sound check's 10 minutes. Is that okay?
yeah.
Feel you in and out, girl.
Yep. Oh, yep. Yep.
Did you have any revelations about Japan while we were there? Like,
Revelations.
did it meet your expectations? Because we had a lot of expectations going into it. I think
Yeah,
that was the most
totally.
excited car trip into a city we've ever
Totally.
had. We were all just buzzing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's more like the crazier side to see that we didn't see, you know. Like what my expectation was that there is like that whole typically just bizarre side of Japan or Tokyo.
Yeah. I think me and
That-
Toto might have got a taste. Of
Yeah, you got a
that.
taste.
Taste.
But I was like too sick to go.
But yeah, it's such an amazing place. God, if we weren't doing this whole music thing, I'd probably just move there.
Yeah, I'd love to spend a lot of time there.
Yes.
The people were really cool, I thought. Just
Totally.
I didn't expect to notice it so much, but their whole culture of being completely accommodating and really respectful.
They're the perfect human.
Yeah, it literally felt like that.
Yeah.
We kept saying we felt like big, drunk, dumb idiots around them because you're just lumbering through
So you
big
should.
white Westerner.
So you should, Louie.
I mean, that's all I am, really.
It's a big lump
drunk.
of meat just like flopping everywhere, trying to just work his way through life, but bumping everything over on his course. Louie Swain.
Oh, man, I've never been sunned up so efficiently. We tried to sing the chorus of Older in Japanese.
Yeah. And it turned into a huge fail. It was hilarious.
I've got I'm gonna get the audio from Burger of that because I knew he filmed it. I'll try to slot that in.
I've seen it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's great. It's actually not that bad.
Really?
In the moment, it seemed really bad.
Because we started Older, and I made we'd been. Oh, I've got audio of us learning in the car on the way there, so I'll put that in.
Yeah, okay.
So the chorus of Older, Hitori ni shitaku nai. Hitori ni shitaku nai. Oh, Hitori ni shitaku nai. Hitori ni shitaku nai. Yeah, right. Do you want to break up the shitaku in mid-word though? Would that be weird? Hitori ni shitaku nai. Hitori ni shitaku nai. Hitori ni what is it? Hitori ni shitaku nai.
Shitaku nai. Hitori ni shitaku nai.
That works well.
I like the album.
Shitaku nai.
Hitori ni shitaku nai.
Hitori ni shitaku nai.
We need to practice the fuck out.
I'm glad it worked. I'm glad it's like that short though. Like we've been practicing it all afternoon, reminding each other, and then we started the gig, and like the adrenaline was up, and then we started Older, and I immediately thought, oh, I don't know it, but Jules is the one singing it, and then I was like, Jules definitely has forgotten if I've forgotten.
Yeah, Jules.
And so I was gonna bend down between the song and check my phone again for what the words were, and they just went straight into Older, so I couldn't do it. And then I was just watching Jules, and I could read it on his face that he'd
Right.
forgotten the whole song.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
That was the thing. After the show, he was like, the whole song, I wasn't concentrating on anything else
Nah,
but
he
going,
just had this dead
"Fuck,
look on his face.
What are the words in Japanese?
And we really because we had to make sure that it was understood, so we left it quite like a gap of silence before it to really accentuate it. There was so much pressure on it.
I can definitely tell you that was like the first time I've properly panicked on stage.
We could
Ever.
all read it on your face. We're like, fuck, Jules.
Oh, that was so strong.
Have you watched the video?
No, I don't never want to.
It's not actually that bad.
Yeah.
Me and Noah watched it. You pretty much screw up like just the start of one of the words.
Yeah,
Could
okay.
almost have worked.
But they didn't get it. That's the whole point.
Yeah, I think, and then the harmony we break into is pretty shocking.
Oh, no. I think I saved it by just being really open with the crowd after and
It's
saying,
really good, yeah.
I'm really sorry.
And then there was the biggest thing about it was the no reaction. We were thinking, oh, we're going to sing in Japanese
Yeah,
in
it's
Japan. People are going to go crazy. And we
People
just
are
did
gonna
it.
talk about this.
Yeah. And then just after, it was just like, yeah, thanks for trying. Like, I think someone said that in the crowd.
Because we finished the song and Jules just like slumped his head, and I went up and like tapped his shoulder, and he was like, and he goes to the crowd. I tried to sing in Japanese, and then he's like, but I fucked it up. And then some girl in the front just goes, "Thank you for trying."
Yeah, it's so cute.
Nah, because I've actually been using music already to like break up the different segments.
Yeah.
And this is still one segment. You can't cut it up with a bit of music. So maybe after.
But it's like 6 seconds. Like you could just drop it in. You don't have to stick by these rules, man.
I mean, I've made a format and I'm sticking to it.
Why?
You gotta stick to the format you make.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, I'll play around, but I'd kind of like the idea of music breaking up the different segments.
You do want to stick to your format to some degree. You need to have some sort of structure to your podcast.
Yeah, and your life in general. The rules you live by.
Podcast. Sorry.
No, this is good.
I was-
What comes next?
I was trying to think of I got back to thinking of podcast ideas, and I tried to think of something that incorporated a literal literal podcast. So
Casting a pod.
casting a pod, if you will, like what's a pod? It's like a bean, like a
A
pea.
bean pod? Yeah, it's a food.
I pictured my first image was somebody throwing a bunch of beans, like casting, if you will, throwing a bunch of beans into a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
That was all I got to, and that doesn't make a podcast. That's why I laughed.
Okay. I mean, it's something. You could you could expand from there.
Could you take
a podcast? Okay.
podcast?
Because now I think about it, I've got no idea what the actual. Oh, you know why? Because it was made by Apple, who had an iPod, and then to broadcast radio on your iPod, you podcasted.
Yeah, okay.
I
Podcast.
can't believe Apple came up with it.
Apple comes up with everything, man.
Have you got any stories from our recent adventures?
I never remember short-term things.
Well, it's not that short term. I got told to start this tour diary in Australia, so I was like, okay, I'm going to start documenting that.
Yeah.
And then suddenly Tokyo happened. I was like, okay, we've got to start documenting that.
Yeah,
and now I've
true.
been to Barcelona already, and now we're going to France tomorrow. It's
Yeah,
just
it's true.
It's too much to keep up with. I can't even record it quick enough.
Totally.
It's like we're barely registering it.
Well, that's the thing. We are barely registering it because we just go and play, and we never really actually have much time to discover places. And we do live kind of in a tunnel because we all just like with each other every day, and we just revolve around our like inside jokes and the
So
Parcels
weird, hey?
bubble that just goes everywhere. And I feel like we are missing out a little bit on like what life has to offer.
Oh no. I feel like it could be almost like a protection thing that
Totally.
we naturally do.
Of course
it's
it
like
is.
There's so much. If you were really taking in everything we're doing to the fullest, it'd be very overwhelming.
It'd be really overwhelming.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this. Like, it's even like the simple, like putting it this way of moving overseas by yourself. It's like, it's way more significant when I think about doing that, you know?
Yeah.
And the fact that we had each other was just like, whatever.
I didn't even think about it. Not
Yeah.
until like 6 months into being here was I like, oh, I live overseas now.
Yeah. And the fact that it could fail.
Yeah.
And the fact that we would have to come home. And like, what do you do then? That's
never
like-
even registered.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quite nice to just like sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah. But the purpose of this is meant to be like a tour diary, but as soon as I get onto like let's talk about Japan again, everyone's like, oh, that was ages ago, dude.
That was a long time ago.
I mean, yeah.
Well,
If you got anything more to add, but it's fine if you haven't.
I don't really. I do have something to add about, you know, this constant like Japan, Berlin, Barcelona, Berlin, Paris, Berlin. Like, it's funny.
All the airports.
Yeah, but just like somehow it becomes less exciting. Or lately, I've been trying to think of a way to, you know, not just like bypass these trips that we're doing because, yeah, it's funny that, you know, people are like, oh, Japan, that was Well, you know, the us.
Yeah.
It does feel a little bit like that. Like, oh, Japan was bloody 3 weeks ago already, and
Yeah.
we've already been to like 2 other countries. We should try and, you know, think about some ways to keep those places special, because they are special and they were when we were there. But it so easily gets like forgotten as soon as you move on to the next place. And
I mean, it's only like you get a few days. We got a few days, and 2 of them were surrounding gigs and like publicity and stuff, and then it just gets lost.
Totally.
I mean, I wonder what you do, because the thought of traveling in my spare time now just seems like the last thing I'd ever want to do.
It's funny. Last year, my mum, for my birthday, was like, "Hey, like, I want to pay for you to go on this like sailing trip, just north of Amsterdam. You can get on a boat and, you know, with other people at like a sailing boat and learn to sail and go like a couple of nights on the water." And I was like, "Sick! That sounds awesome!" Like last year, I was just like, "Oh, I want to travel in my spare time."
Yeah.
And I never ended up doing that thing because we just got too busy.
Yeah.
And this year, I can't think of anything worse than. I mean, I do want to do that one day, but yeah, I really, traveling really takes it out of you. And it's funny, like trying to feed the friendships that we have here in Berlin is tough when you're away so much. And when you're back, you don't want to be like, oh yeah, I want to go traveling. Like, you know, we have enough of that.
Yeah.
I'm worried that this is all sounding really privileged kid problems.
It is when you look at it from an outside perspective.
Please know that we have no money, and that, you know, breakfast.
Our situation
has
comes
just
from
been
a
bread and
combination.
butter.
Yeah, our situations come from something very lucky.
Totally.
And yeah, I don't know what I'm even going to use for this bloody podcast. I've got 5 hours. At the end of this, I'm going to have 5 hours of audio to somehow edit into something very accessible.
You've got to shape it to make us look cool, all right?
I mean, that's going to be tough, because the most interesting stuff is when you look like a bit of a kook.
Well, you know, I don't mind looking like a bit of a kook. That's kind of my thing.
It's your thing. I'm going to set us a challenge to sink another one of these beers before we stop recording.
All right. Double it, dude. What are the odds you...
What?
What are the odds? You
What are
would
the
right
chances?
now order two whiskeys and drink them both. Well,
Myself?
scull one and then slowly drink the other one. Yeah.
Oh, for myself?
Yeah, both of you.
And what do you want?
I'll just take a wheat beer.
Oh, that's terrible. I want another beer.
on the air, what are the odds? All right, 2 drinks of choice. Scull one, drink the other one reasonably quickly. It's pretty
The
mild.
podcast will become pretty terrible.
Yeah.
10.
3, 2, 1, 4.
Oh,
Damn.
there we go.
Yes. All
All
right,
right,
2 drinks of
I have to
choice.
scull a drink and then drink another drink
At a
before we
reasonable
finish.
pace.
Before we finish podcasting, and I got to buy Pat another wheat beer,
Yes.
which I'll do now. So while I'm gone, you can provide whatever you like to the mic.
Oh, cool. Patrick's head segment. Here we go. Welcome in. This is a dark place. I'm going to take you into some serious pessimism for the next, I don't know, 3 minutes. Oh God, it's. Welcome. Come on in. Take a seat. Oh gosh, man. We're in a business with no money.